on the 26th of August 2018, we are going to have a full moon in the zodiac sign of Pisces. This is the time to think what you want. This is the time to think what would you like to gain out of your spiritual journey. This is the time to start thinking about the bigger picture in your life. And also it's going to be very significant to actually pay attention to little details. It is not only about paying attention to little details, but because Pisces are very deep, Pisces are very powerful, Pisces are very much so connected to their subconscious mind, very powerful signs indeed. Pisces have got the ability to notice things that other people don't notice. Pisces have got a really fantastic eye when it comes to like a certain things like art and certain things like a little science and certain things like a little details. But in this particular instance, it is going to be very significant, this power that Pisces actually have about noticing little details about our lives that need some work. This is going to be a very powerful time when it comes to our own personal journey and our own personal passion. What are we passionate about in life? Did we lose our passion about things? Did we lose our passion about what we want to do in life? Did we lose our passion where we want to go next in our life? And this is also going to be very important for those of us who just couldn't find ourselves, for those of us who couldn't actually really see the clear picture, for those of us that were happy maybe, or for those of us that were maybe unhappy with a certain elements in our lives, but we just didn't know what to do, where to turn next. And it is just a reassurance that is just going to come in a really powerful and a spiritual way, which is on another hand going to wake up even more passion in all of us. And also it is going to give us a little time to actually withdraw from the situation. Of course there is going to be the little hermit moment, but then you know how many times I said the hermit is so powerful. The hermit is a very important mode. It is not only about withdrawing yourself from the situation, but it's about the fact that the subconscious mind and your spirituality is just going to be very powerful and very enhanced. And on another hand, you're going to be very much so connected to your subconscious mind. So of course you are going to be having this mixture of this power that Pisces have by dealing with a certain emotions, by dealing with a certain stages in your life that you kind of don't feel comfortable dealing on a daily basis. Sometimes, you know, in life we just need to kind of get hold of the certain energy. We need to get hold of the certain dimension, which gives us on another hand like a balance, which on another hand gives us a power in order to get on with things in our lives that we don't want to do, that we don't like doing, that we find really boring, or for whichever reason we are just sometimes, you know, like doing, or we are part of the certain particular part of the spiritual journey that we don't maybe like necessarily at the moment, and we are not able to find our own happiness, and we're not able to see crystal clear. And this is absolutely normal, because of course it depends on our past life. Of course it depends on our personal spiritual journey, and it depends on our karma. It depends what we have to work on, and this is why these things are very complex. And when it comes to complex things in life, when it comes to our problems, when it comes to our negativity, and when it comes to those things that are making us a little bit negative and a little bit sad about ourselves, and they are throwing us out of balance, and sometimes we are thrown out of balance so much that we don't even notice. And this is purely because we, as a spiritual people, we have to wait for the certain energy to come through into our sign, or we have to wait for the certain moment, or we have to wait for the right dimension to be very close to. And that particular dimension gives us a power and gives us a sense of a self-confidence. And this is the time when we normally deal with things in life what we normally don't want to deal with. And these are the situations, these are the problems, these are the things that are very much so connected to our own happiness, very much so connected to our own state of mind, but very much so connected to our spirituality, and of course to our emotions. This is of course going to be highly emotional time. This is of course going to be highly charged time when it comes to our emotions and things like that. We are emotional beings, and we have to make sure that our happiness happiness, when it comes to our emotions, it has the right balance. But as I said, it all depends when a certain energy comes into our sign that helps us to actually get balance back, and then we can actually pinpoint certain problems in certain areas in our life that we need to work on. And this is what the full moon in Pisces is going to bring. It is going to bring us this power, this sensational feeling of happiness and of motivation that we don't normally have. So let's put it this way. Emotionally, this is going to be really powerful time. Full moon in Pisces on the 26th of August. Emotionally, this is going to be very deep time, very powerful time. We will be swimming through the sea of very beautiful and deep and powerful emotions. We will be swimming with the currents, and we will be absolutely loving it. While we are swimming, we are also going to have a really nice and beautiful spiritual cleansing. That particular spiritual cleansing we are going to have at the same time is also going to help us to see crystal clear and to make the best possible decisions. This time it's going to be very powerful because, and very significant when it comes to our emotions, because what are we going to do? We will finally not only deal with problems and things that have been kind of like preventing us to move on from a certain stage to the next stage in our lives, but we are also going to end up with a clear picture. We are going to end up with a clear realization. We are going to end up with something really good. We are going to end up with something really new, a new idea, a new happiness, a new energy, which is just going to make us to want to emerge in a certain way. Emerge there where you felt really low. Emerge there where you felt really bad. Emerge there where you felt really down. And this is a lot to do with emotions. This is a lot to do with the love life. This is a lot to do with our feelings, with what we do in our lives, our feelings with what we do in general in our lives, and our feelings with what we do when it comes to the bigger picture in our lives. You see, are we fully happy? Are we fully using our own ability to the full extent? Are we really enjoying what we are doing in life? You know, what is going to be the next step? You know, this is going to be the time to reach for those things in life that were just sitting at the back of your mind, because don't forget about the hermit mode. I said before, what the hermit mode is going to bring with a wonderful, wonderful power of Pisces, it is just going to be absolutely fantastic. And I get so excited because the bottom line is here that we are actually going to end up with a very powerful realization, and that realization is actually going to surprise us. That realization is going to be very interesting because it's going to be going towards the completely opposite how we actually felt so far. I'm not saying that you're gonna, oh God, like I'm just gonna no, I'm not gonna love my partner anymore or something like that. No, I'm just saying that there is going to be a very positive vibration that is going to bring a really fantastic realization, and that realization is going to surprise you, because also, as I said, this is where the power of Pisces comes in, because it's going to light a shine on those areas in our lives which have been kind of preventing us to actually move on, because we were kind of stuck, but we were stuck because of the wrong journey that we took so far. This particular wrong journey that we took so far, I call it a wrong journey, is because it is not the particular part of this journey that we are having now, because it's so much connected to the karmically, your past lives, and because it's connected karmically to the past life of what you have individually done when it comes to your past life. This is why this is just a temporary spiritual journey, but it happens there. It needs to happen in every single one of us lives, because we need to actually wait for the right moment to for the things to shake up. And this is what the new moon in Pisces is actually going to bring, and which is on another hand going to bring you to bridge, and that bridge that you will have, it's just going to bring a new person, bring a new people in your lives, and these people are also going to have a really, really powerful impact when it comes to the certain vision. The full moon in Pisces Pisces, it's also going to bring this wonderful emotional intelligence, which is just going to be so much connected to your psychic feelings, to your psychic power and things like that. And on another hand, that is going to bring you a vision that is going to be very deeply connected to what you were focusing on so far, a vision that is going to be very significant to your current situation, a vision that is going to be very, very powerful, because that particular vision is also at the same time going to imprint in you so much that is just going to be direct result of you feeling very radiant, you feeling really ecstatic, and that on another hand is going to bring the whole new synergy, and that synergy is also going to bring a peace with somebody who we haven't had a peace so far, bring a love with somebody who we haven't had a love so far, bring about, with another word, there is a certain person that is just going to pop back in our lives, and that particular person is just going to surprise you in a really good way. The things that have been really negative and really low with that particular person, now this is going to change, and this is why it's so wonderful when it comes to the actual Pisces in the full moon, because that amazing emotional intelligence together with the psychic intelligence, it's going to be literally mind-blowing. So that is just going to bring you a whole new peace and whole new culmination, because you will see that after that moment you will realize that you're actually going to be able to be relaxed. And this is the problem, this is the big problem, this is the big issue that lots of people had, big issue that things that we had in our lives that were kind of like so negative, and we didn't even notice that this amount of negative energy is actually not making us to be fully happy, not making us to fully enjoy our lives, not making us to fully see our lives. And it's also the realization what we have been doing wrong. There is a certain thing and a certain realization going to happen that it's going to make us realize that you know, sometimes in life it's just a balance that it happens in between us and somebody else. It's not caused only by one person, but it's caused by two people. It is going to be a really good learning experience as well, because the learning experience is going to bring something a little bit negative. A negative realization is going to come through. A negative realization is going to come out connected to some other person, but that negative realization is going to be really good, because karmically it's actually going to have an amazing ending when it comes to your current situation, and the actual realization that you know, the certain areas in your lives, you will be surprised how much they were affected by unresolved situation when it comes to your emotional life, when it comes to your emotional relationships, when it comes to your emotional happenings and things like that, a family life, love life, like other people involved. There is a certain balance that is going to come back, but it's also going to bring the realization that, you know, that sometimes you make mistakes as well. Sometimes we all make mistakes as well, and it's always the best wonderful thing to try to forgive and forget. When you forgive something to someone, it's brilliant, and Pisces full moon is absolutely wonderful. And I know it's really difficult to forgive sometimes, and I know it's not, you know, it's easy for me to say, oh yeah, forgive, but from the spiritual point of view, this is very significant to forgive. However, because when we don't forgive to someone, we are holding a grudge, and we are holding a negative energy, and when we are holding a negative energy, this has got a really negative impact on us. And on another hand, this has got a negative impact on our particular spiritual journey, on us, on people around us, and on our life in general. So this is just going to be a very significant time, because also you're going to realize that you're going to start feeling very creative. You also go shortly after that, you're also going to realize that, you know, there is a certain energy that is going to come back, and that energy, on one hand, as I said, you're going to feel very radiant, you're going to feel very good, you're going to feel very sexy, you're going to feel very powerful, you're going to feel very smart and intelligent. And this is all that is going to happen at around the time when there is going to be the Pisces full moon on the 26th of August. And also, what else I was going to say, that just don't forget, it's 3 days earlier on that day, and and 3 days later. And it's just on another hand, that creativity that I said, that creativity is going to have a really positive impact on all of us, because we are going to find ourselves in a situation where we are going to do really well, we are going to do really good. And if you do want to plan something, if you do want to do something really important, if you do want to start something really important, then the 26th of August is going to be a very significant time. Just do it. If you want to sign something for the first time, something important, on the 26th of August, just do it if you can, because this is going to be absolutely amazing. The bottom line here is that this is the time of positivity. This is the time of gain. So whatever you do at this time, it's not only actually using the right energy, but actually using the right power that Pisces have in when it comes to the actual decision making, because we will be very much so in touch with our own spirituality, but sometimes we don't even realize how important it is to be emotionally correct, how important it is to be emotionally balanced, because when we have our emotions really balanced, then you see sometimes it even surprises us how much of effect in our life this actually have. And this is exactly what is going to happen with the full moon in Pisces. And also, if you want to start something, if you want to kind of put an end to a long problem, just do it on the 26th of August. If you want to start something that you feel very negative and really low about, just do it. If you need to talk to somebody but you just don't really like that person, but you really have to talk to them, just please do it on the 26th of August, because there is this emotional power that you're going to have. This emotional power is going to also be like a very, very much so, very close to emotional intelligence. And this emotional intelligence is going to bring you the whole new reactions that you're actually going to have. Like maybe sometimes you would react like, no! You know, if you speak to someone who you don't like, you know, like, and things like that. But now it's just going to be like a completely different reaction. And this is why the Pisces is so powerful, because it gets into your power, it gets into your mind, it gets into your subconscious mind. And this powerful energy, even without thinking, just makes you do what would be the best thing to do. It makes you decide what decision would be best to decide, you know. And also just expect all sorts of signs when it comes to the 26th of August, all sorts of signs, and it will make us to very much so to do lots of work in the home. We will feel a connection when it comes to our home, our living arrangement. We will feel connection to like living things, especially like plants and nature and things like that. Maybe go and buy a new plant, you know, and something like that, because there is going to be a really big connection that we are going to feel with our home, which is absolutely brilliant. And on a spiritual level, you know, if you want to buy a couple of crystals or something like that, then just try to do it. Do it on the 26th of August, and you're gonna have a special, very particular relationship with that crystal. Or if you want to buy for somebody some kind of a crystal, just try to do it on this particular day, because that particular person is going to have a very strong relationship with that particular crystal. And also on another hand, you know, like when it comes to feng shui and things like that, it's very important to like move furniture about, you know, like every now and then, because it's not really good just to keep the furniture always the same. It's really important to keep on moving furniture, even if you do it a little bit, you know, and things like that. There is also going to be like a situation that is the Pisces full moon is also going to bring a situation where, as I said, we're going to have to make like some kind of decision that we are not really going to like, and that particular decision is going to be like not really the best decision, but it's just emotional. We're just going to feel so strong and so powerful, and then that is just directly going to be connected to the big wish that is going to come through. So we have to get this right, really. And there is also going to be the moment when it comes to work and career and things like that, that the Pisces is going to be, Pisces new moon is full moon, sorry, Pisces full moon is the time when our stamina and our power and with our professional work and with our career, with our money, with our finances, with our decision making, this is all going to be tested. And this is going to be good. This is going to be fantastic, because it's going to bring a really big decision that you're going to need to make immediately. And this is going to be also very interesting, because shortly after that there is going to be the new beginning, brand new beginning, that is just going to come boom boom boom, just like that, towards you, towards us. And that brand new beginning is just actually going to happen out of the blue, and it is going to be your own particular very powerful wheel of fortune. So full moon in Pisces is also going to bring a fantastic wheel of fortune that is already rolling towards you, every single one of you. And that wheel of fortune is going to come at around the time when you least least expect it. That Wheel of Fortune is going to come at around the time when you don't expect it at all, okay? And also what is going to happen, again, it is going to make you to react in a certain way, and you would not react normally in that particular way. No, 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 not at all. And this is why also immediately a big problem is going to come to an end, and that big problem that is going to come to an end is going to be connected to somebody who will scrutinize you. This is somebody who's going to be either connected to your work, connected to your college, university, or if you're retired, it is going to be the person that was creating big problem in your life, the dark person. When it comes to their energy, not their appearance. When it comes to their energy, there's a very dark person, very unhappy person. That person had a really negative impact on your life for a while, and this particular decision, this particular situation with that person is actually going to come to an end. So this is really good, because there are lots of negative energy. It's also going to be gone after that moment, after that time as well. So if you do want to discuss something with somebody that was really negative to you, or with somebody that was creating lots of problems and things like that, the 26th of August is also going to be very, very significant. And what else is going to bring? It's going to bring a really free spirit. You know, it depends what we go through in this life. You know, it depends. It all depends. Life is so complex. It's, oh my goodness, and it all depends on our private lives. And sometimes we just focus on certain things in life. You know, I always say this, but it's just so important to enjoy this life. It's so important to do as much as we can do. And sometimes we don't notice how much we're actually thrown out of balance. Yeah, we can be successful. Yeah, we can work so much. Yeah, we can be so happy. But sometimes we are happy, but we are not really happy. Sometimes we are happy, but we are not really happy. I say this because there are always little things at the back of our minds that are driving us a little bit nuts. And these particular things that are at the back of our minds, you know, they prevent us not only spiritually to move on to the next journey, but it's preventing us to actually feel this life and to be really free. And we don't even notice this. This is the key word. We don't even notice it. And this is what the 26th of August is going to bring. At the end of the 26th of August, it's going to bring the fact that we are going to realize that we are actually, those areas in our lives that were holding our hands tied back like this. I'm sure lots of you would want my hands to be back tied back, so I don't use them like this when I talk, because you may find it distracting. Some of you love it, some of you find it distracting, but I can't help it. But basically, so what is what is going to happen is just that we are going to come across the situation that it's also going to be a little bit strange, a little bit unusual, a little bit negative, but also it is going to bring something really good. And this is going to happen about a day after. This is going to happen about a day after, when we are going to be facing something really a really negative situation that is just going to be connected to our past. This is going to be connected to our childhood. This is going to be connected to a long time ago. And this is just something that was there, the realization, something that you can't change, something that we can't change. It is not good to live in the past. The problem from the past that is always keep on coming back. It's also very much so connected to the family, very much so connected to the family life, very much so connected to the problems that we had in the family, the problems you had in the family that affected you so much that you can still remember this, you still remember it, and this still affects you regardless who you are, regardless what you are, and regardless how old you are. The age is so unimportant. It really doesn't matter. It's all about the actual spiritual age, but not this particular age. So this is a very complex issue. This is a very deep issue, and this is something that helps us a lot to not only spiritually grow, but also to realize, the big meaning of life, to realize, that this particular life, as I said before, it's too short. We just have to do as much as we can. And there is a big problem, big realization going to be connected to this. I'm not saying that the problem from the past, from the family, a long time ago, from the childhood, is simply going to disappear. But I'm just saying that there is going to be a very interesting situation that is just going to make you to look at the things from a slightly different angle. And this is how how deep the Pisces is going to make you to swim. This is how far and this is how deep the Pisces is actually going to make you dive deep, deep, deep as you can. And this is going to be brilliant, because I'm not saying your problem from the past and the negative energy from the past is going to completely disappear because of what happened in the childhood, but I'm just saying that this is actually going to help you to look at the situation from a slightly different angle, and that moment, that second, you're going to start feeling absolutely brilliant. You're going to start feeling very, very free. You're going to start feeling like you want some kind of adventure. You will connect your mind after that moment, after that time, straight away to you feeling happy, to you feeling relaxed, to you feeling adventurous, to you feeling free, to you being a free spirit. This is so deep. I cannot explain how deep this is. This problem, this situation is going to go back a long time ago. But now the best thing is that this is going to have an amazing impact, because it is going to set you free. So you're not going to forget about it, but you're just going to have a slightly different, you're going to just look at the problem from a slightly different angle, from a slightly different direction, and that in itself is going to make you have one of the biggest realizations of your life. And that particular big realization, one of the biggest realizations of your life, is just literally about to set you free. And this is going to open the whole new door, which is going to give you the whole new self-esteem, the whole new confidence, the whole new power, and straight away it is going to be the sense of going towards the new direction, sense of going towards the right direction. Straight away you're going to realize that some certain stage and a certain journey of your particular life is coming to an end, which is on another hand going to be brilliant, because you're going to realize there is just so much more to this life. It's just here, but it's just all about adjusting our mind. It's all about adjusting ourselves. It's all about adjusting our vision a little bit, which is brilliant, because also the realization, that you are on the right track, you are on the right journey. It's going to also be connected to the certain person that you were worrying pretty much so, you will hear a good news about. This person is very close to you. This person is very significant to you. This person is very, very somebody that you will love so much. It could be absolutely anybody, but it's just somebody that you were really worrying about, and you are going to have a realization. There is going to be really positive outcome, positive ending. It is going to take slightly longer, but the things are most certainly going to start to flow in the right direction, and that is just going to bring the whole new world of possibilities to that person, and that is going to mean to you so much. So somebody who you love so much is going to have a really good news about a particular huge problem that they actually had, but you were affected by it, of course, and this is going to mean to you so much as well. And also, the last thing I want to say about this wonderful, amazing, powerful full moon in Pisces is the actual realization that we are going to have, the actual idea that we are all going to have. It's going to go a long way. The idea that we are going to have, we are just going to start connected to it. We're going to connect to it pretty much so very, very strongly. And this idea is just going to come out of the blue. This idea is going to be born out of the blue. And this idea is going to have a direct impact to your life, to your emotions, to your direct happiness, and it's also going to be directly connected to something that you wanted to do in a really, really long time, but you couldn't because you didn't know how to do it and which way to go. And this is exactly what the full moon in Pisces on August the 26th is actually going to bring. An amazing, powerful, emotional intelligence, which is going to make us very psychic, and on another hand, it's going to be a direct answer to so many problems we had that were directly affecting our own personal happiness. Thank you ever so much for watching my video. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium.